Hello, welcome, Dr. White.
Thank you.
My name is Dr. Khiela Holmes, and I am the founder of Birthing the Gifts, a nonprofit organization that's devoted to promoting the social emotional wellness of youth, young adults, and families while providing a safe and compassionate space to grow and develop their God-given gifts through educational retreats, resources, and community events. So I hope that this can be a resource. This is It's a Process interview series. So thank you for helping Birthing the Gifts launch this wonderful interview series. It's just a pleasure to have you here today. Dr. White, founder of the Prep Factory, and my cousin.
Yeah.
So it's great to have family on as well.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's a pleasure to have you here for sure. So you are the founder of the Prep Factory.
I am. I founded the Prep Factory in 2016. It's something I ran from for 2 years.
Well, we want to talk about that today because this is really about that. This is really talking about what the process is like when people are doing what it is that they feel God told them to do and place inside of them to do. What does that process look like? So that's why this whole interview series is called It's a Process, because it really is.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Truly it is.
Yeah, it is. So my understanding with the Prep Factory, we could just start talking a little bit about what it is. So in just a little bit of my reading and kind of seeing what you do, my understanding is, well, one of the things I read is that you all help students, a nonprofit organization, right?
Yes,
501c3, and you all help students and families find their college and navigate the admissions and financial aid process and really teach them the skills that they need to be prepared for school and their career.
Yes.
Is that essentially what
That's
you all do?
So in a nutshell, our tagline is college planning from admissions to graduation. So a lot of programs get you into college, but the Prep Factory focuses on getting you through college, graduated, and then stepping into your leadership role in society.
Awesome. That's one. So that process.
It is a true process.
So it's a process for them. Everybody's in their process. Everybody's in their process. So one of the things I think I want to start with, just talking some about your organization. I thought it was interesting when I was reading, and when you said help them find there, it's like there was capitalized, like that was important.
It is very
important.
So
tell me about that. What makes that important?
So it's all about institutional fit. It's just like putting on your shoes. If you walk around with a pair of shoes too small or too large, you're not comfortable. You don't feel your best self. Well, college has to fit the exact same way. You know, that's where you're going to thrive. But all too often, and I'll be transparent, most of our students are African Americans and Latino. So it's all about getting them to thrive in college because society has taught them to just survive, to get through the best way they can. And the Prep Factory aims to just dispel all of that and make sure they emerge in the way they're supposed to be.
That's wonderful. I love it when you say thrive. Right. Yeah, because so many people, because of their life circumstances or their world, they're just surviving, but you want them to thrive. Their full potential. That's wonderful. Could you tell, so we're just going to keep talking about the organization some, but then we want to hear about the founder and a little bit more about your process.
Okay.
Yeah. But so could you just say some about how you prepare them? Like some of the services you provide?
Yes, absolutely. So we started 7th grade and up. And matter of fact, a young lady just requested our services and she's 63. So, what does she have in common with a 7th grader? They both want to go to college. So we don't discriminate based on age or anywhere. As a 501c3, we're helping anyone anyway. So we're always encouraged. So a 7th grader and a 63-year-old would have the same type of, they would need to come with the same type of services because it's been a long time since the 63-year-old was in school and the 7th grader is still navigating and trying to understand who they are. Right. So we're helping them determine their value as students, right? So the services that we offer, academic readiness and what that looks like, writing, that looks like SAT, ACT prep. It looks like the TSI prep. So we do test prep all around because they're placement exams once they graduate so that they come in and start on their level as opposed to just their university application. So we get them positioned for that. We have tutors that get 100% of the profits that they make. We just connect parents and then students for tutors, but we don't take their money because they're in college. Our students who are already enrolled in our program, they're tutoring. So how does that empower the tutor and the tutee? So now there's a connection, you know. Everyone doesn't want to hear from me, dry Dr. White, you know. Well, I'm a teacher for real, so I don't, you know, so I have to bring in those types of nuances that a classroom teacher would, but I also teach my students how to pull out that student's best self. Also, what we do is we help them navigate the college admissions process. A lot of families are completely overwhelmed because it's very intimidating. But because I started out as a college recruiter and moved to focus on retention, I have inside information and a lot of those connections that I made as a recruiter. I still have those connections, you know. So I'm navigating, I'm helping them and connecting them. And then we help with finding them internships, preparing them, mock interviews, scholarship application, and it's not just scholarship stuff, application. Because I can give you a scholarship. I give people scholarships and I'm not the confidence that they'll actually apply. Let's be real. Something comes up, Instagram, TikTok, and then they'll forget about it. Right. So we make sure that they actually apply for the scholarship. And then when they get it, they're all excited and they get more enthusiastic about it because now they understand what debt-free looks like. Right.
So you all like guide them through the process. So not only make sure the resources are available, but really help them to access it and really use it in a way that fits them and what their needs are and try to keep them encouraged. So it sounds like you make sure they stay on their
Yes, we have to. And then students who are further along, matriculating further along, they are mentoring me in the program. So it's a cycle of knowledge and success that continues. So then everyone's encouraged.
I think that's great. So everyone continues to be encouraged and learning. So it's mentorship, it's tutors, it's the financial aid process, the admissions process, writing, all kinds of things.
Postgraduate work. So one of my students who's graduating in fall 2022, she's already thinking, oh, I'm going to go for my PhD in mathematics. Right. I was like, okay, absolutely. You have this school. Now let's look at the gate system. But she's been excited because now schools that she would never thought about, Vanderbilt, MIT, they're on her radar because she's been doing her matriculation has been so successful that she's in a position to compete. So what is that going to do to a young person who's like, you know,
just build them up. It's like their confidence, their and who they are, who they've been created to be. That's amazing.
And I'll add that our foundational principle is 1 Thessalonians 5. Therefore, encourage one another as fast as you are. In fact, you are doing. Let's praise it too. Let's just keep it going.
So that's your foundational. I can just tell.
That's our foundational principle. I always wanted to be a cheerleader. My mom was like, "Nah," I couldn't do it. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna be a cheerleader in another type of way.
Right.
You know, no one's put me on a peer lead back in the day, but
I see. But this is the way you cheer people on and support them, right?
This is exactly how I do
their
it.
process. That's wonderful.
Absolutely.
What I found it interesting because actually when I first kind of started thinking more and learning more about your organization, initially I was thinking, okay, she's working with high school students, but you said starting with 7th grade.
7th grade.
Tell me about that. What made you decide 7th grade, start there instead of like 9th, 10th, or 11th or something?
Well, because, and I posted about this on Instagram, early is the key. You know, you have to start teaching 7th graders because the 6th graders, they don't have that emotional immaturity yet. Maturity to sit still even for the process. So 7th grade, because I was a middle school teacher as well, I taught on every grade level, K-12, and then also on the higher ed level. As a middle school teacher, I saw, okay, this 7th grade, they're ready because they're more curious about college. The 6th grade is still just an older 5th grade. You know? But a 7th grader is now starting to get about high school. And then they're asking questions. My classroom, you know, Miss White, what's GPA? What's this? What's that? And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a great, because now they're grasping the concept. So that's why I studied them. And, you know, you're a teenager officially. So it's, you know, it's just they want to step into who they are.
I can see it.
You get it?
Yeah, there's like a different developmental kind of time in some ways that their little brains are shifting and moving, and they're starting to really think in a way what really your service and your organization can be more beneficial for them. I think that's great. Starting early.
Early is the
really
key.
Position them in the family. That's great. So I do want to ask Morgan, you kind of touched on your love for education, supporting people, cheering them on. So have you, when did you know yourself that being involved in education, being an educator was something that was going to be a part of your journey?
Wow. When did I know? I was in corporate America for 13 years.
Oh, okay.
So that was my first career. I was a paralegal. I was very successful. You know, excellence in everything we do. Texas Southern University, you know, excellence in achievement. So there was a very lucrative career, but I was absolutely unfulfilled. And then Hurricane Katrina impacted the nation, right? And so I was like, I have to go serve. There was this burning desire to go serve because I was just serving myself in corporate America. And I was led by the Holy Spirit to do something. So I ended up going to, and I didn't know what it was, but it ended up being an arts and crafts thing, an education thing for students, for those students, I call them students, not just kids, because they were still in school, for students who had been impacted by Katrina, and they were citizens of New Orleans. And so from that sparked something that wasn't enough, you know, to do that in that moment, in that crisis. What can we do? How are those kids doing for now? You know, I still think about it too. And seeing how the families were so happy that we were doing something and they were utilizing our services to so they could go in the FEMA line or give an ID and things like that. And I thought, man, this is such a small thing, but I really believe in community. Right? And then I left Houston because I was in Houston at the time and went to Arkansas and was blessed to get an opportunity at Philadelphia College. And oh my God, everything just started making sense.
So you knew that was the setting you wanted to be in. You wanted to serve in that way.
Yes, because I'm third generation HBCU. And then my grandmother is a alum of Philadelphia College. That really, knowing that my grandmother was a graduate of Philadelphia, it did something to my spirit. It made me walk those halls and walk that campus with a straighter back and a stronger, and a tighter stirrup. You know what I'm saying? Okay, the impact that was made on her needs to still be made today. Right? So then I was promoted within 9 months. Because I thought it's not enough to get the kids in the door. They gotta graduate. And then I was promoted to retention. There'll be a retention strategy. And what God gave me was to call this program the Undercover Junior Society. And what these young people, and my group of students were 0.0 GPA to a 1.9 GPA. I worked with the students who were in danger of, they were in academic failure. And so created that program, and I saw it, and I thought, absolutely do it. This is what I was going to do. And all of my experiences in undergrad started making sense. So they say your testimony is not for yourself. And I was like, oh, because I'm telling my story now. And stories experiences I've forgotten. And it just was amazing.
That is. It does kind of make, is there something about that? Because sometimes I wonder if people are in their process, right? Their process of birthing and manifesting the gifts that's in them. I often wonder, what keeps them motivated, right? So Tim, in that process, because it seems like you were in a process for a while of discovering and realizing, really what gave your heart joy, what you were born to do. So what kind of kept you motivated or even keeps you motivated?
Well, I tell you, at the time, I was going through a divorce. So it was really, I needed something else, right? And, well, actually, I wasn't going through a divorce. I was newly divorced, and I was trying to navigate being a single mother. And I had everything stuck in me. And I just felt very off-center. And whenever I went to work, it didn't feel like that. I had fun. And I thought, man, I do this for free all day long. Just talk to students, guide students, put them back on the right path, encourage them when they feel, low. Man, I can do this, I can do this. And then for the students to start referring other students to come talk to you. And you're, oh, look at this. When you start seeing a tangible impact, right? And I thought, I was born for this. Absolutely. Because at 10 years old, I knew I wanted to be a child advocate. But I thought it was going to be in law, which is how I was going to paralegal and being turned up in the legal. But that never worked. It was like putting a square peg in a round hole. Even though I had success, I was still unfulfilled. And it wasn't until then that I was locked in place. I didn't make a lot of money. But education, you don't get it. It's truly a ministry, y'all. You're doing it for the purpose, not and the passion. You ain't doing it for the cheese.
Right. Okay. That's not what it's about. Right. So that's something when you know that that's really what you want to do, and you're like, you know what, I'm willing to do this, and you're willing to shift. It's almost like you shifted careers, right?
I absolutely shifted careers. Yeah. There was such a major shift in my life that it was almost like God gave me a reset button, And so me and that little boy, we just, all right, we hit the button and we moved, and it was like, wow, let's go.
But it's like you knew you had to get on the path for something that was more fulfilling.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's usually the way it is, right? Like I feel like the more we are doing what it is that we are called to do, and that's our purpose and our passion, then that really in itself brings us joy.
Yeah, it does. It really, I really enjoy this. I do.
That's one I can tell even as you talk about it, you can kind of see it all over you. While at the same time, you mentioned earlier that you were telling me before that you ran away from it for 2 years.
Man.
So then, what do you mean when you ran away from it? What were you running away from, and what was that about?
So my season ended at philanthropy.
Okay.
And it when after you get a certain age, you know when the season is over. You don't have to.
Grace is
And so I moved back to Texas, leaving Arkansas to Texas, and I knew I wanted to go for my doctorate. When I got done with my master's, I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing it. But my mentor, who actually was my college president, the first female college president at Texas Southern, Dr. Joan Horton, she was really helping me because she understood as a woman, as a black woman in education, she absolutely understood where I was. I wanted more, didn't know what more looked like. So I came back here and started at an institution that was not a school. And that's where the jail came from. And I said, okay, God, I see what you did. They did not want you to work full time. Now I'm a single mother. My kid likes groceries. I got a mouth to feed. I can't work. And school was 50 miles away, one way. And it just it had me questioning who I was as an intellectual. And I was driving home every night from campus. I'm not a dumb woman. I'm not a dumb woman. Why is it so hard? And then transitioning to another university, transferring to another university that absolutely embraced my life. And even let me bring my son back. So he's 6th grade sitting in a doctoral class, and we getting it together. He's doing his homework and I'm doing mine. I'm taking my notes. And he became my cohort, the poster child for my cohort. But it was, I knew God was telling me, I need you to do this assignment. I need you to pick up what you did at Columbus and develop it and help students here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I was like, well, I'm busy. How bold, right? I'm busy. You put me in the doctoral program. Now I'm a new teacher. I have this son to raise. I'm trying to acclimate myself, to reacclimate to the area. I got too much going on. Give me a second. I need you to do this. And then my brother came in the house and said, we need to help Black kids go to HBCUs. What?
Wow.
I said, what you mean? Because that's what God was telling me.
Wow.
And I said, what you mean? And he said it again, and I said, okay. All right. I was afraid that I would be successful. You know,
fear of success.
which is very real. I was afraid I would be successful because I had so much other stuff going on. And I thought, I just, you know. And then it took off. I was successful and it didn't hurt.
And it didn't hurt. I love it. I was successful and it didn't hurt. Love it. I love it. But it's things like that process, though. That fear, because fear can be paralyzing, right? Fear can be paralyzing. It can hold people back, create some hesitation. But it sounds like in that process, for you, I could tell that that your relationship with God is important to you. That God was speaking to you. But it seemed like even through other people, God was reminding you through other people.
Oh my goodness, wouldn't let me go.
Yeah, just wouldn't let it go.
Wouldn't let me go.
Yeah.
And when I said, okay, well, what's going to be the foundation for this? First Thessalonians, I said, I'm done. And that, therefore, encourage one another. And I thought, and then as in fact, proof that you are already doing. And I was like, okay. And that became like so important. You know, it became so important. And what was the difference at the land? And kids were encouraged. What's the difference between what did I need as a single mother going into my doctoral program and what made us fit at Texas Western University as opposed to the other universities? I was encouraged. And I was like, okay, let's go. And so we went, and you know, it just, and then it went from being working it part-time, because I was still a full-time teacher, I was still working on my doctorate, and I started the business, you know, and I was still managing a household alone. And then God said in 2019, now I need you to do this and just this. No, give me something else. I don't want to do this. I got a master's. He said, well, you had a master's when you left Houston. I said, you are. And look at you inside the country. You had a master's when you left Little Rock and came back to Texas. You didn't have a job and I paid your car. Right? And he just started calling me on my testimony. And I said, okay. And finally, when I said, I was telling you earlier, give me a sign. And then I said, you gave me that sign, give me another sign. Right. Well, give me a sign, make sure that sign was what you said and not just what I want. And then it just, and the final sign was Houston traffic, rush hour, and this guy said to me, I noticed him and I let the window down on my son's side, which is something I don't do. You know, I'm a mother bear for real. And he said, well, the first thing he said was, whatever God is telling you to do, you need to do. And I looked, and he said, and I said, my thought was, I don't have any money. And he said, it doesn't matter if you have a little bit of money or a lot of money. But if God is telling you to do it, you need to do it. And I cried. Because it's 4 o'clock in the morning, we didn't track it.
Right. Nothing but God, we know.
And my son said, Mom, I don't know how much more confirmation you need.
Right.
You know, I still wasn't there. I still was scared. And then on August 7th, I said, okay. Because he wouldn't let me go. And I did it. I called my principal and said, I want to go. Overwhelming peace. With that. And I went. And I thought, I don't have any students. And students, my parents are calling. So from June, during the pandemic, from June to September, we raised $15,000. And they believe they cost us big.
That's it. That's a testimony right there. That is wonderful.
And that's the process. That was the process. Even in 2019, God gave me a word. January 2019, trust the process.
That's the word he gave.
That's the word he gave me. The first Sunday of the year, he told me to trust the process. Because I had stopped my dissertation. I had stopped everything. I was like, I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. You know, I called you. And he said, trust the process. When he gave me that word, I went in knowing that, okay, I know I'm going to do this. I just don't know when. I just keep doing something to do. And I was done within a year.
You knew you had to keep going. Trust the process.
I mean,
it's just like all throughout your process and your journey, it's like what I keep hearing you saying is just these testimonies, really, of God's faithfulness.
Oh, my goodness.
And that he's going to keep you and just equip you to do what you need to do and make sure that you have what you need.
Yes.
I guess when he said he's a provider, he is.
Truly, and he's sending people constantly. And even the word he gave me this year, this month especially, was feed off my faithfulness.
Okay. You surrender to it.
I knew I had
feed off my faithfulness. Because he is faithful.
Oh my goodness.
So man, so you kept going. And the thing that I've heard you say too is that not only is he faithful, and you are showing different times, and you know it's like it ain't nothing but God. Like it's
right.
like it can't be a coincidence or like no such thing. You know, that was a God situation. And so, but what I'm hearing you say too is there was still fear. And I wonder if God understood that and knows that. So did you find yourself almost, people say you do it afraid. Like even though you had the fear, but you still had to trust the process in the midst of that.
So here's what's funny. I participated in a leadership, adult leadership program in Little Rock under Senator Tracy Field. I think I'm getting his name right. I hope I am. Well, am I? And in that, the mantra they had us adopt was video, BIDIA, but I did it anyway. And that mantra I impart into my students. But I did it anyway. Do it brave, do it afraid, do it. It's late, do it. It's early, do it. But I did it anyway. Because the but, that conjunction is the contrast and it negates everything before it. I don't want to do this. I'm hungry, I'm sleepy, I'm tired. I'm not sure of myself. Whatever it is, but I did it anyway. So that's what we did. But I did it anyway.
Wow. So that definitely was another part of your process. And I'm hearing you say, like, even you're pulling, like, from different experiences you had, right?
Right.
And they just kept you. Just kept you.
But God is so wonderful in that because you don't even realize it's happening. You just you're in that moment, and then it'll click. And some things will happen, and I'll say, man, I almost missed that. Oh, I see what you did. So, for instance, my own son, who's been in the program, he's prep factory postal job. Every morning else, and this is a part of the process too. Everyone, all of my other students in the class of 2021, but their scholarships are coming in, full ride. And I was saying, surely God won't leave my soul in the house. Right? And I became scared. And I was that was became anxious. And I said, no. And so the parents in my program started ministering to me. Teaching. I'm young and I'm old. And I've never seen a righteous forsaken nor his seed begging bread. You're out here planting seeds. You're out here being righteous. God isn't going to leave you forsaken behind. Right? I know that. But I'm scared because I can't afford for him to go to college. And that's irony, right? I'm a college trainer who can't afford to send their kids. But what I have, God has given me is information and education and an ability to administrate or administer. So then March, April, he ended up receiving over $1 million. January, New Year, like maybe one offer. And I said, okay. And then even getting the only student in Texas chosen to do the Gucci scholarship. He's going to be a fashion designer. And he has his own testimony, and we were in that together. And I was like, wow, this is another step in the process. To the point where I asked her, do you think we're in our season of tension? She was like, you know what? I think, yeah, we struggle so long. I think God is saying, yeah, it's our time. Yeah. I was like, right? Let's go get some ice cream.
Yeah.
Celebrate. It's our time.
Yeah, it's our time. It's season. That's wonderful. So I like how you said, like, but I did it anyway, right? Through all of it, through all the fear, through all the concerns, through all the worry, still trusting the process, trusting God, and trusting God in the process. I think that's wonderful.
Because even people aren't always on board. There's some people who are very close to you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And that's part of the process too. I mean, did you find that there were times in your process where it wasn't always there, maybe the encouragement that you wanted?
Oh, yes. Well, because Satan is the belief of things. And he's got to already believe the vision and the plan that God has for you in order to get you off track. Right? So when I said I wanted to go for my doctorate, I was told, oh, well, you may as well forget getting married. That means you don't like smart. And so you may as well be a lesbian. Because I wanted to get more education.
Okay. You're like, oh, let's say it had to go together.
How are you connecting?
Yeah.
That, and another was like, well, I think that'll be good for you, but are you sure you want to do that? I mean, you have a son. You need to take care of your son. You're neglecting your son. And the one who encouraged me to go was, he was 9 at the time. He said, oh, Mommy, yes. Absolutely. Do you see yourself? He said, I already know you could do it. But do you see yourself?
Sometimes we take the child.
And when I was taking too long, he wrote me a note, put it on the fridge. If you don't get done this year, we're going to have to I need to have a sit down.
Oh, my goodness.
But it was the encouragement.
That encouragement, yeah. So even in the midst of the fear and the discouragement, you still got encouragement and confirmation from the Lord about trusting the process.
Yes.
So if you could tell us some about your degree, your doctorate, and kind of what that's in, and yeah.
So my doctorate is in educational leadership.
Okay.
And my mentor helped me determine it, because I knew I wanted to go get more education. I have 2 degrees in government, a political science degree, and public administration master's, and then, but I love English, so we were thinking, well, maybe I should be an English teacher. What track is that going to get me on? And so it became education leadership, because I wanted to do something in higher education, not knowing, even when I got my master's in public administration, that I was going to get a nonprofit experience. And I ended up running a nonprofit, founding it. And I thought, I'm thinking I'm going for government, and you really have to plan with nonprofits. Wow. Yeah. Because the plan for me all along was this.
It's like everything worked together. What if they all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord and are called according to His purpose? But it definitely sounds like you were called according to the purpose that God had you to do to advance His kingdom and support His children. Because I heard you say in the beginning about the cheerleader part of you to encourage and support, and then the child advocacy part. So it's like all of these pieces are coming together to get you to right here where you are now. I think that's amazing. That's amazing.
I think of it like a jigsaw puzzle. It's just, it's our lives in a box, right? And then you dump them out, and you just start putting the pieces together, and before you know it, you have this beautiful picture, and it's a life well lived. I guess. But I'm a writer, so the figurative language is gonna come.
Just let it flow. Let it flow. I think
but you get there, right?
Yeah,
the metaphor of that. And I thought, it's like, there's another piece in place.
It is. So if you ahead, tell us this, because you've had an amazing journey. All these pieces coming together, your process.
There's a lot of crying now. Don't get it twisted.
Okay, yeah.
It was a lot of crying.
There's a lot of crying, yeah. And that's what I want us to be able to talk about. Like, right, the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs. It's not always just laughing and great.
Oh, man.
There's going to be some crying and some heartache in that process.
Yeah, the lights got cut off, the gas got cut off, the water got cut off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
It was embarrassing because I'm supposed to be able to, you know, I'm a super black woman. I'm supposed to be able to hold it down.
Mm-hmm.
So then there's that stigma that black women are supposed to be the strongest now, you know? And it's like, we don't get a chance to just, we gotta put, you know, put on, as my grandma used to say. We gotta put on. And we do it to the chance to almost be human. We have to be superhuman. And that in itself, self-discovery, you know, was very, it was also part of the journey. You know, who is Keisha White, aside from the prep factory, aside from Sacred's mom? You know, who am I? Because I can't lose myself in all of it.
So you have to stay in touch with who you are, the core part of your identity, your authentic self, who you were created.
And my spiritual foundation ended up being 95% of who I'm like. Not a holy roller type of person, but like I got to hold tight to this part because that truly helps me find my center and keeps me grounded. So
which helps you to keep you grounded in the whole process.
Yeah.
During the times when you're crying, fearful, and all of those range of emotions. Yeah. So tell me, what would you say for people, because I'm pretty sure there's people listening and watching who are kind of in their own process, right? Man. They may be in a tough moment, a valley, a difficult time. What type of encouragement or even tips or advice would you give to people who are in their process and trying to keep going? They may be difficult.
Read the Bible.
Okay.
Listen to your music, find a mantra, surround yourself with people who get it. You know, eat the meat and spit out the bone for your haters, for the people who don't catch it. And I don't even want to talk to haters because they love you on some aspects, but people who don't necessarily catch the heat. Right? Eat the meat and spit out the bone because there may be some value in what they say, but take, you know, the meat and the nourishment, right? And you spit out the parts that you don't need right now, and then you come back, circle back to it, and then or get better. And also, it helps to have I want to be honest with you, a mental health professional in your circle of people. You know, that's an aspect I ran from for decades. And in the last years, I did because I needed to understand some things about myself. And my mental health professional brought so much clarity and it gave me some tools to use so that I received people in a much better way. I was receiving them positively, but man, I really get them now, you know.
So be the healthier version of yourself for them, for your practice.
Yeah, and then I tell them, surround yourself with children. They boost your ego, and they are honest. If they feel it or not, just like those shoes not here. Okay. You don't want to do that. You know, it doesn't look like this. I really get a lot of my feedback from them. It validates them and it validates me. You know, it's a mutual benefit.
A mutual benefit. That's wonderful. I love it. So something where people can stay grounded, something to ground them, something to help them get to know themselves, understand who they are. Be around encouraging people. I love it. I love it. Listen to the music. Do what you need to do to help keep yourself encouraged.
Yes.
It's wonderful. It's been so wonderful having you on and kind of listening to you and your process. If you could let people know how they could find out more about the Prep Factory and get in touch with you and your services.
Well, if you want to find out more about the Prep Factory, look for the lime green and black. We are on the web, www.theprepfactory.org. That's THE, prep, like prepare, factory.org. We are on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. On the TikTok is Dr. Keisha. So But TikTok is my guilty pleasure.
Okay.
But because you need one of those too, right? But we're on as the Prep Factory. We're pretty much, and then if you want to email us, info@theprepfactory.org. But if you go to our website, you'll get connected to us all the way around.
Mm-hmm. Well, wonderful. Please connect with Dr. White and what she's doing. That's amazing work. And thank you for sharing with your process.
Thank you for inviting me to share. This has been wonderful. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Thank you so much.